Hello, welcome to this live stream where I'm going to be editing some photos here that I took last Friday. These are taken with moonlight, and so I tried to capture some really well lit foregrounds with the sky. So obviously under these conditions, I was not looking to capture any complex stock photos that would show details of nebulosity. I just wanted to be able to capture a foreground with some stars. So these are all single exposures. So we're going to be doing the editing in Adobe Lightroom Classic. So let's jump over there. So you can see here we have one of the images popped up here. These are just imported. I haven't done any editing to them. You can see the full process. I have not culled any of these files. It's just all the files that I captured during this particular day. So let's first build all the previews, because if we build the previews, then it'll be really easy to zoom in as we edit the photos. So if we hop over to the develop page, you can see my first edit or first shot here was not quite having the right settings. So like I'm using completely manual settings. So I take a guess around what the settings should be, and then I make adjustments. So for this particular one, I started with ISO 1600, f1.4 and 1.6 seconds. You can see it's pretty blown out. So you can see the previews were built. So we probably won't do any editing on this one, but it's kind of cool. You can see the whole constellation Orion. Bright star down here would probably be Sirius. And you can see several other stars as well as some clouds in the sky. So the conditions were looking really good. So if we go through these, you can see I changed the composition a little. Let's see, this focus looks really solid here. And the stars themselves are a little bit out of focus, which is what I intentionally did, because I wanted to highlight the details of the stars. And in order to see them, this is shot at 24 millimeters. In order to see the stars in their detail at this distance with the moon out, you want to make the stars as big and bloated as possible. And so with clear skies, the way to do that is to put them a little bit out of focus and have the focus closer to the foreground. So you can see here that's pretty well done. You can see the main stars in Orion pretty clearly. So we can look at the image here. You can see there's some bright spots here, but looking at the histogram off on the right side here, it looks really good. And we'll have we won't have any trouble with anything being blown out in this image. And if you look, I don't think any of the lowlights are clipped either. So there's a few different ways we could edit this, right? So if you watched my last video on editing the Milky Way at the Great Sand Dunes, I created a preset, right, that would work with the particular camera setup that I was using for that photo. But for this photo, this is just a standard camera. There's no astro modification to it. And if I try to apply, I believe it was this preset, you're going to see some really weird colors, right? Because there's no color problems from the astro modification. So that leaves us with a few options. We could either start with this, we could create a new preset from scratch to start with, or we can find some other like preset that I've used in the past. So let's see if we can actually use this one, and we can just make the color correction here. So it looks like that's pretty good. So we're going to want to really make this less blue, probably. So let's see, we can just use the trick that I always use. I put the vibrance and the saturation all the way up, and then if I can make the whites look white, then I'm pretty close to a reasonable edit for my colors. So we actually have a few choices for what's white. So we've got these clouds here, we've got the snow in the foreground here, and we've got the snow in the background here. And they're all supposed to be somewhat of white. And you can see that at this point they are all varying degrees of white, because The sky really doesn't have has moonlight shining on it, so it'll be white. It'll be pretty white, and then the snow in the background has a good amount of moonlight. And the lamp that's off to the left side of me here is spreading a bunch of yellow light. So this white is probably not a good reference point for the white point of the image. So we probably should be using the snow maybe in the background here. That might be a good reference for what white should look like. So let's see if we can play with these settings. So if we go this way, that makes it really purple, so it's too far. And we can also kind of look loosely at the other colors to see if we like the way those are looking too. So let's see. That's pretty white. Let's see what the clouds look like. They look pretty white as well, I think. All right, let's drop the vibrance and saturation and see what we're getting here. Now you can see this is a lot closer to white, and we might actually, for this particular image, probably want to drop the highlights down and also the shadows, so that we're not blowing out the snow in the foreground here. I see, like, it's really nice looking snow. You can see the tracks and the snow cat as it went by to make these nice groom lines for the skiers here. So there's a edit here. Let's see. Those stars look pretty good. And what I'm seeing is actually seeing a bunch of vignetting in the corners here. So let's look at the, let's see here, where will that be? That should be under, is it lens correction? That's one place. And then I believe it's also under effects here. Yeah, so you can do vignetting in either spot. So we were already having the profile corrections applied, so that fixes most of the vignetting, but I'm still seeing more vignetting, so that we can either reduce in vignetting with this tool here. And you can see if we go up to 200%, actually, that doesn't really look like it's adding a reverse vignetting, which is kind of surprising. In the foreground here, we really brightened the snow, so we might have to do something about that. But you can see here, this is a pretty reasonable image. Let's see, about this size might be someone's phone. You can still see Orion in that, so I think that's pretty good. So in order to improve this a little bit more, I think I'm just going to go here, create a linear gradient here. And we really want to de-emphasize the foreground here because it's really taking away from the image, I think. So we can do that by trying to reduce the highlights, or we can just reduce the whole exposure. So yeah, I think that might be too much because there was actually a good amount of light there. So we want some light. All right, I like that. Just removing the highlights actually looks pretty good to me. So let's see if we took a good amount of the brightness away. But yeah, it's not going to be dark at any point because there was a lot of light there. So yeah, I actually kind of like this image. You've got different layers to the image. You've got the foreground here with the snow, and then you've got the chairlift, and then you've got the sky. So it's got like 3 different layers to it. The ski slope and the chairlift kind of lead into Orion, which is pretty neat. So I think, let's see, I think that looks pretty good. Might call this image done. And so let's, we can export this. So what I would do is I'll export this, and I'll choose this, and I'm exporting to a specific folder. I'm exporting in JPEG with 100% quality, and I hit export. So those are my standard settings. And so now I have a few options. Is like if I really like the edit I did on this one, I can create a new preset with it, like this, create preset, and this will be, I've been calling them modern art 8 or something, or I don't know, probably 25, something like that. And then you can see here, yeah, there is modern art 25. That's the same thing I just created. And so we can, let's actually apply this to all of the images up until this one. And then we'll talk about those. Those other ones are some HDR images I did, so those are going to need a little bit more pre-processing before I actually do an edit. So I can, the one thing I can do is I could go over here and click sync. That'll sync the first image I edited with all the rest of the images. Or I can go apply the preset to the images. So if we just hit sync here, it'll say, do we want to do masking? No, we don't want to crop, and we don't want to include this, but all the other edit settings will synchronize those. So if we do that, it'll happen quickly. And then we can check out the results. So you see, I did a whole bunch of this particular one with different focuses and different lighting. And you can see the clouds are like moving away. Let's see, where's the focus in this one? I don't know, I think the focus in the other one was better. I think I tried focusing closer to the foreground so that the stars would stand out more, which they slightly do, but I'm not sure if it's worth the loss in detail in the foreground. But yeah, so that's this one, right? So let's actually edit this one because it's slightly different. So we, again, will do linear gradient, and select this, and we're going to drop the highlights down like all the way, just to take the edge off of the brightness in the foreground here. So I think that just gives it a better look overall. So then we can export with previous because all the settings are accurate, and we'll move on to the next photo here. So I think this is a pretty cool photo. So what I was trying to accomplish with this one is the sky doesn't have a lot of details in it, but you can see this is a retired gondola car that they've repurposed for photography. So you can go get your photo in there with the back image of the mountains. And what's really cool about this is you can see right through the front of here that's opened out through the door, if you will, out to the real mountain. So you've got the real mountain in the background, and you've got the mountains here for the personal photographs. So you can see that there's a pretty cool transition here. So yeah, so that was the purpose behind this photo. And let's see here, are these the same? I think I like this one. So you can see there was a lot of light there off to the right side of the image. There's a bright light off to the left side of the image. There's another really bright light. So I tried to hide both of those lights so I can get long enough exposure so that you can see some of the stars. And I don't think I'm going to do any more editing to this one. I think I'm happy with it. So I'll just export previous and move on to the next image. So then I moved to a different location that's farther away. So I was trying to capture this Oak Street lift. So I tried a lot of different compositions. And let's see which one looks good here. So you can kind of see there were trees above me here. You can see the shadows. Yeah, looks like the focus might be a little bit much in the foreground, but this is still a pretty cool photo. So I like the way this one looks, and I'll go with this one. I don't think I'm gonna make any changes. So upon most of these, I'm just gonna quickly go through, and then maybe a couple of them will spend a little bit more time trying to edit them. Let's see here. this one's in really good focus. This is the one we should export. Yeah, look at that chairlift all the way up. You can see the chair is going all the way up to the top of the mountain. That's really cool. All right, let's export this one. And then one of the things that's special about Telluride is the mining history there. They have a power plant at the end of the road that drives into the Telluride area that has a power plant designed by Nikola Tesla that created the electricity that the miners used for their headlamps. This was super critical because it saved a lot of people's lives, and because they were previously setting some kind of lamps where you had to burn probably kerosene or something, and when there was anything combustible in the air in the mine, then there was an explosion and people died. So the power plant was able to save this. So there's a lot of mining artifacts in the area here. So they try to stay well tied to their history beyond just the power plant that you can see when you visit. But there's just like things like of this nature that are, I'm not exactly sure what this was, but it's probably not even sure if it's a realistic artifact or they built it as a prop. I'm not sure, but it looks kind of cool. So I tried to get a shot of that with the mountain here. You can kind of see the ski mountain in the background off to the top there. But yeah, this is just another photo that I took, and let's export that. And so in order to highlight the ski area, I was trying to capture the skis and stuff here. And then you've got the ski slope in the background. So, I don't know. Oh, you can hear my cat. You want to say hi? Hey everyone. Yeah? Okay, now you can go. Alright, back to editing. So I think this image, I'm not sure if I like it. It's an interesting concept. Maybe if we brighten it up a little bit. The focus is kind of in the middle of this image. It's not in the foreground on the bike and the skis, or in the background on the stars. Alright, I like it a lot better after I brighten it up. I feel like the blown out light did not look very good when the highlights were all the way down. So, yeah, the photo is really bright, but that's like, I'm in a town, so that's to be expected. Alright, so let's export that. And alright, so this is another one, another highlight of the mining town history. You've got some probably buckets here that were used for distributing the ore, probably from like the mine down to the mill or something like that. And you can see I have the ski rack here with all the skis, and then the ski slope on the top there. The gondola is running through the middle of the image. It's a pretty neat image. The one thing I don't like about this image is a lot of empty space in the foreground. So maybe this is a good image for Instagram because I can crop it in a 4:5 ratio or something. Clouds are making this image kind of cool in the sky as well. They adding something to it. So I think I'm pretty happy with this. I'll keep it probably as it is and export it. I could maybe crop out the edge of that chairlift over there. I'm not sure if it's adding to the photo. Let's see. Did I do any other compositions of this? Yeah, I like where the clouds are. Let's export this one. There's a couple other compositions I think I did with this here, and I think, if I remember correctly, I tried to get the entire Telluride station, which is the gondola house here, if you will. So how you got on off the gondola, and you can see the ski slope there. And you've got, let's see here, mining artifacts and skiing. So yeah, I like this. it's a pretty wide field of view. And yeah, so let's export this one as well. Let's do a little bit increase on the highlights. I think that'll make the image better. There we go. You got some guy standing in the exit, walking out. It's a kind of cool effect there. And yeah, this image is looking really yellow to me. Let's see if we can drop that down a bit. It's interesting. So when I drop it down, you can see the sky becomes really blue. So the lighting down in here is, or must be some really like yellow incandescent bulbs. And yeah, so I'm not going to be able to completely remove the yellowness, I don't think. Unless I want to make the sky really blue. So there, so if I drop it all the way down, the sky is blue, foreground is white. So let's go with somewhere in the middle, like this, where you've got relatively white light here. And then the sky is not so blue that it's like looking like fake. I like that. All right, let's do a crop on this one too. I don't like the curve here. I don't think it's helping the photo. So we'll unlock the crop here, and I think if we just start from here, let's see what that looks like. Yeah, like that. So you've got pretty cool view. So this is probably not a great photo for Instagram, but I like how it turned out overall. So I'll export that. And we come to the rest of these photos are taken of what's called the ski tree. So the ski tree has, let's see here, the ski tree is the Telluride's version of like a Christmas tree. So basically it's made of skis. Let's see if we can go to the cropped in shot here. So you can see here they basically, I don't know if I got a good shot of it, but what they did is they chopped skis in half. I'm not sure if it's bright enough to tell. Here, let's see. There. That's too bright. But if we drop it back down a little bit, you can see they have a middle pole stem here, and they chop skis in half and put lights on it. And so it's a really unique thing that I've seen at Telluride and haven't seen anywhere else. And they have it out every year. So I tried to capture some HDR images of this, right? Because it's very hard to capture the whole image in one shot here. If you are capturing this, right? Let's see here. So you see this has really blown out in the foreground, but like the courthouse, which is another major community location in Telluride, is like is looking really nice compared to it. And then you can also see the snow on the mountains up there as well. So I took a whole bunch of images here, and panorama images of it. So hopefully if we do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, we'll see if we can get this to merge. So we'll start with this. Let's actually try to see if we can get all of them to merge. Where is it? So 57 to 70. That's going to be a lot of images. We'll see how that actually works. I don't think I've ever tried to merge more than 7 images in an HDR here before in Adobe Lightroom. So we'll choose the HDR option here after we selected the photos, and it will do something. We will see what. It could complain it can't align them. It might come out with a perfect alignment. Maybe not all of the images are taken in the same alignment because I didn't look that closely. So we'll see. so we'll wait for a second here. Hopefully it will complete. So yeah, if you have any comments or questions, let me know, and I'll try to cover those things. Also, check out the link in the description of the live stream. I have a community there where you can access all of my content. I'm releasing some raw files in there so that you can edit some of the images that I'm working with. So if you're interested in trying to edit some of the raw files that I've captured, then and get your practice in for maybe capturing the Milky Way on your summer vacation or something, like you can start out with some of my images from my community. So just check out the link in the description of this live stream here. So hopefully this thing is going to finish up pretty soon now, because it's been going on for a couple minutes, and I think my cat wants to say hi again. Maybe. Let's see. Okay, are you saying hi, Kin? Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. All right. I'm not sure if HDR merge in Photoshop is supposed to work on 14 photos. So I definitely did not try this before the live stream, so everything I'm doing here is basically me just going through the process I normally go through, except I'm streaming it live tonight. So I hope you're enjoying it. We'll give this like another, I don't even know, minute or two. If we do that, let's see if it, with a little processing, if it'll just merge something and give a result. Yeah, even that's struggling. These aren't even the largest photos that I work with. I actually work with other photos from my Sony A7R4, which are 60 megapixels. This one's only like 30. So, all right, let's try something different. Let's try fewer images here. If we want to edit, let's try these 5 and see if we get a reasonable result. Hopefully this will go faster. That is much faster. And let's see. It looks like a pretty okay result. The foreground might be a little bit blown out. Let's see how it works in an edit. So it'll take a sec here to merge those photos. And we get this one here, the HDR image. Then if we apply the preset to it, let's see what we get. That's definitely a flattened image from an exposure perspective. Like the brights are really not bright, and the darks are out. So it actually worked pretty well. All right, so we definitely don't want to drop the highlights all the way because that's looking super unnatural. So we want the lights to actually be bright because that's the whole purpose of having lights on your tree. Again, I'm thinking this image is too yellow, so we're gonna drop the color temperature until we think it looks good. So I think I like that. Maybe we'll increase the temperature just a tad. So we've got the whites here, they look pretty good in the middle here. You've got the shadows are a little bit bluish, but I think that's okay because the sky is also a little bit bluish as well. And you can see the tree looks natural, the yellow lights look good. And I think what I'll do is maybe I'll drop the shadows down a little bit, because using the HDR we lost a lot of contrast in the image, so we want to make sure that we're not we're having contrast, because not having contrast is bad. You want to have contrast or else your images look super flat. Alright, so I think I'm pretty happy with what this is. I think we'll call this one edited. So yeah, I really like how this turned out with the lights in the courthouse. You can see all the details. It must have been pretty calm the night too, because the HDR didn't screw up the trees. Alright, so this looks good. So we'll export this image, and then maybe we'll try to edit one of the other ones in the other direction, or see what other images I captured. Let's see, so I shot the opposite direction too. We've got the chairlift over here. Let's see if I like this. Oh no, I really like the other shot with the, and this is pretty cool too, with the chairlift going along the side of the tree. Let's see, let's do this quickly. So we'll do like these 5. Hopefully that'll give us the result more quickly, and then we will probably be able to just mostly copy and paste the edit from the other image. So while that's merging, let's find the HDR image over here, and what we'll do is we'll copy settings, and we'll go back over here and see if we can find it. I think this is the one. Oh yeah. So we'll paste the settings here, and that gets us most of the way there. I think we can actually brighten the highlights even more in this one. We have a little bit of a blown out exposure down here because the string Christmas lights here are really close to the snow, but I think it's actually okay for that to be blown out because it looked really bright in person as well. And I think in this one we actually want to brighten the background a little bit more, because I like seeing the tree and the chairlift over there framing the photo. So this tree to the right and the fairlift, as well as the light highlight of the sky. I think it gives it a good feel, and it's not so bright that there's no contrast. So I think, especially since we're not dropping the highlights as far, I think we might be able to go even brighter with the shadows in this one. It depends. This is a personal preference kind of thing. You don't want to remove the contrast altogether, but it's also cool to see the background framing details as well. So I think we'll go with this. Yeah, it was kind of sad. I was out there like Christmas time, so usually there's a lot of snow around the tree at Christmas time. You can get a cool shot, but when I was out there then, there was like literally no snow around the tree. It was like there was like literally one patch from like the one time it had snowed, and yeah, it was just disappointing. But since Christmas they've had a bunch of snow, so there's snow everywhere, which was really nice. Alright, let's see here. So I don't think I liked any of these, so I think I'm going to skip those. So let's go back here. So this is the main road down through Telluride here. So let's see. I took a bunch of photos, so let's go to the end here and see. So we've got the tree, we've got the mountain, we've got the lights. So I think for this, I did several of these with focus in different places. So I'm thinking the lights here in the tree should be in focus, and then the lights in the background like this here are fine to be out of focus, and then the mountain, you can still see the details of it even if it's slightly out of focus. So we want the attention in the main foreground, and then just have the sky and the mountain as the background. So it looks like there's all clouds in this. Let's actually see if we can pull out some of the details in this. So let's just take these 4 images and then we will photo merge these in, HDR here, like we have been doing. Let's see, I think that looks pretty good. We'll merge this, and then we'll probably end up applying the same preset to this one to see what it looks like. And so then this will be the end of the images from the set here. We'll wrap up the stream. And yeah, so let's paste this here. Let's see, I think we want to, there we go, we can bring out the background details. So yeah, you can see here that there's lights that are above. I didn't include those in this composition because I was trying to exclude like the people in the car. So this was right after the end of the Ohio State-Texas football game. So there were a bunch of people screaming and shouting in the road out here after the end of the game. So I wanted to really focus on the mountains in the background and the lights on the tree here. So I used this air to tree here in the road to block the view of all the people who were out in the street. You can kind of see them in the distance there, but for the most part they're not relevant to the image. So there's a bit of clouds in the sky that have come in since I started shooting. Maybe you can see one star over the top of the mountain over there. So I think this is still a little bit too yellow, so we're gonna brighten this up just a tad like this. And I think that looks pretty good. I like the way that looks. So we're going to call this one done. So we'll export those. So I think these photos will probably end up in a reel or something that I'm going to create. So I have some pretty cool footage that I captured along with these other shots that we just edited, and I hope you guys enjoyed this stream and hopefully learned something. Be sure to check out my school community that's below. I'll help you process your images, not only the simple edits like the one you're seeing here, but also the more complex sky edits. So I'm hoping to cover panoramas in the next live stream on Wednesday, I believe is the schedule for that. So hopefully I'm going to try to merge both the sky panorama and the foreground panorama and blend them together in an hour. So we're going to see if it's possible for me to do it that quickly. So there'll be some result probably if there's no major issues. Again, these streams are super live, like they're not like super planned out. I'm just here editing, following my process so that hopefully you can learn from it, and just have a good evening now. Thanks.